Hi, my name is Mark Bernard. I'm a monetary economist. In this video, I want to talk about the current negotiations between the US and Russia. It's the most relevant news. I want to say that, don't lose hope. Be hopeful. Within a few short hours, darkness has descended upon the world. And this is not an exaggeration if you've been following the news. And I don't need to go into the details of the agents at play, who said what happened, because we all know the news and we're all abreast upon it. What more important is the big picture. There's a couple takeaways from this. First of all, there is some dialogue about being pragmatic or using common sense. But that can be applied to anything. You could say, oh, it's just common sense to defeat a despot and to help Ukraine with more armaments and defensive power. It's just common sense that the aggressor who commits pretty valuable war crimes should be asked to pay the reparations. In fact, this person with perhaps one of the highest IQs in the world, Marilyn Bossavant, says there's common sense and then there's intelligence, which is uncommon common sense. And you think you know, but you don't. So when they use things like pragmatic men, common sense, it's unrealistic at this juncture. It's really just a sales pitch for the dark side. If you've ever heard somebody say, it's unrealistic at this juncture, at this point, common sense, we're pragmatic men, that's really the voice of the dark side. And my message today is, my claim is, don't give in to the dark side. Don't engage in dark fantasies. Don't engage in dark thoughts. Don't be negative. No matter what happens and you hear on the news, know that somehow you have to believe good wins over darkness. And if you're going to do a dark fantasy, do it something benign, like imagine Russia surrendering. Imagine Russia pulling out of Ukraine. Imagine them just giving up and he leaves office. Imagine, if you want to get crazy, aliens, take them to the mothership or whatever you want to phrase it as, and then put them on a hospitable planet and just extract them from the humanity that we're trying to make a better place in this world. These types of fantasies, I would say, are probably permissive, but dark fantasies, anything to do with anger and rage, I would negate that from your consciousness, because that feeds the darkness, and that's what they want: fear, panic, concern, anxiety. You want to be balanced and centered. It takes strength in knowing that good wins over evil. Sometimes it takes a long time, and sometimes we have to be patient, and we have to be smart and resolute and take concrete steps. But that doesn't mean you give in to the dark side. So Garrett Kasparov wrote a book, Winter is Coming, and I almost could be the sequel, Darkness is Coming. It already has come over this world. And I don't want to underplay it. This is not an exaggeration how serious these geopolitical events are. And my claim is, again, that Russia incrementally chips away at weakness. Maybe it'll take Moldavia. Maybe it'll take a little sliver of Romania. Or maybe it will take a little sliver of Finland and just see the reaction. Maybe it will, destroy some infrastructure in the Baltic Sea. Just see the reaction. Just little enough minimalist, aggression, like microaggression, that it won't trigger Article 5. And then there's claims that Europe isn't ready. Well, I tend to disagree. Now, on paper, for example, Poland, we're just one country. We have 38 battalions against, 100 and whatever, 80 Russian battalions. But that's backed up with, we're going on close to 500 HIMARS systems, M1. We have the South Korean tank, European tanks. And if we needed to, we could probably call up 180 battalions ourselves. I don't see that happening, and I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying Europe can be prepared and is prepared. So don't believe any kind of commentary that it must go this direction. Whenever you hear leaders in Moscow or Washington refer to great countries, remember how Moscow frames great. Perhaps Ivan the Terrible, who killed his own son with his hands, they see him as great. Catherine the Great, how did she die? Wasn't it something to do with horses? You can look that up. Maybe that's just me making light of it, but didn't she have a fondness for horses? Peter the Great? Was he really great by doing the things he did? So great is usually attributed to butchers. And truly great people, whether it be Mother Teresa or, like I'd mentioned before, Leonardo da Vinci, they usually don't have the term great applied to that. Even Napoleon, he didn't have great applied to him because there could have been an argument that he was the champion of the revolution and applying liberties across Europe. I tend to disagree. But don't be sucked into this negative thinking and, get this adrenaline rush from the news and this negative adrenaline rush and fill yourself with fear. Rather, fill yourself with the hope that light wins over darkness, good will win and triumph over this. And we have to be patient, and we have to be watchful, and we have to be very, very intelligent and clever and take concrete, positive action to make this world more peaceful and a better place to live. So I didn't want to overwhelm you with news today because you've already been overwhelmed with data, statistics, and he said, she said, and this is why it's good or bad. Rather, put peace in your mind. If you need to, unplug from the news. Take walks through the woods, and then come back and see again what this world is about. Because at any time, things can change. Nobody can predict the future. Nobody has these tea leaves. And let's hope for the best. And while we're hoping for the best, work like the whole world depends on us to make this world a better place. Let's see how we can put our collective minds together, maybe even in the comments, suggest ways that Ukraine can win. And the saber rattling from the bullies, we basically have to ignore them and focus on the task at hand. Thank you very much. My name is Mark Biernot. I'm a